Hello all you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend BritikHD coming at you fast with the first installment in the Paragon UBG Ultimate Beginner Guide. And today we're going to be talking about heroes, roles, and how to treat those heroes in terms of leveling up, and just how to get the right start out of your game, because the biggest problem in Paragon right now is new player retention, because nobody really teaches them how to start off a game correctly, rather starting off their career in Paragon correctly by learning the proper roles and heroes before they jump right in. So there are 5 roles, as you see here. While I'm highlighting every hero, you can see that they all have a blue bar with a word in there and a symbol. There's solo lane, there's jungle, there's mid lane, there's carry, and there is support. Now there are 5 roles. So each role has their own specific place where they go, where they fit in, what they do, what they should upgrade. It's all very confusing, and it gets even more confusing when you take into account each individual hero within those roles, their abilities, how to play them, how to build them, and how to fit them into a team. So right now I'm going to show you guys where each of the roles goes in the draft lobby. This will be really quick, and then we'll move on to some gameplay to kind of talk about the heroes themselves and stuff that I want to prioritize when talking about those heroes and playing those heroes. So as you see here, when you highlight each of these symbols in the draft lobby, it will show you and highlight the lane and give you a description of the position. Mid lane obviously goes to the middle, solo lane goes to its own lane, jungler goes into the jungle. You have support and carry together in the duo lane. Now the duo lane is closer to the Fangtooth Pit and closer to gold buff. You will see this on the map when I point it out in my gameplay. And solo lane is closer to Orb Prime and the rejuvenation, the regeneration, the light green buff, the pale green buff, whatever you want to call it. It's closer there. So make sure you go to the right spot in order to do your job. A teacher goes to a school in order to do their job. Make sure the solo laner goes to the solo lane to do their job properly. Now let's go into some gameplay. Now, fair warning, this gameplay is going to seem a little weird. The replay system does have a lot of glitches in it, but what I want you guys to focus on is the words that are coming out of my mouth and the positioning that's going on the minimap in the top right. I was not able to see the enemy through the walls in this game, just so you guys know, for those of you who are new, who don't understand the system. This is just to help you guys watching and seeing understand the positioning of everybody on the map, and I will be bouncing around to show it in more detail so you guys can kind of get a better sense of where the roles are placed. Now, heroes, let's talk about them. So right now is a time for learning. You just got the game. Don't worry so much about winning. Just have fun with the game. Play heroes you like to play. Pick the heroes you look are cool, or that just have really sick looking abilities, or just have nice asses. Doesn't fucking matter. I don't really care what your kinks are. But what I want you guys to do is pick one hero in the first couple of days and really stick with them. Stick with that one hero. Learn their abilities or their kit with using MOBA slang. And stick with them and learn the game. Learn how the game works. Get a feel for last hitting, aka killing minions and getting the most amount of golden experience. Get a feel for rotating, moving around, just everything. Just learn the game, okay? But stick with one hero just to keep things simple. Then learn one hero in every role. Start branching out, learning a hero in every role. Learn how to play Gideon in mid lane. Learn how to play Muriel as support, and so on and so on. This is going to help you so much in the long term, plus it makes the game more fun. You know, you get to branch out, you get to try new heroes. You don't want to play the same hero for too long because then it's going to get stale. So obviously, you want to learn as many heroes and play as many heroes as you can. Then, once you've played and gotten comfortable, or at least understand the concept of each of the roles, that's when you want to pick one role and master it, aka main it, another MOBA term. So you want to main a role. You just want to learn all the heroes in the role, or at least as many heroes as possible in that one role, because you want to be a god at it. It's really hard to be a god at all 5 roles. It's just you don't have enough hours in the day to do that, nor do you really care about that. So you want to pick that role and master it after you've learned these other roles and you have at least one hero to fall back on, just in case you're in draft and you need to just be a nice person, because, you know, it's all about being nice. You got to be respectful and picking a different role when somebody has picked your favorite hero, right? Don't throw a bitch fit about it. Just take it as a time of learning and time of opportunity to try out a different hero and play them better and enjoy them. So let's go into actually leveling up the heroes and what to do with them. So like I said, You gain gold and experience when you kill minions or when you're even around minions when they die. Same thing goes for enemy heroes. You get way more gold, however, when you do actually last hit the minions. It doesn't matter how much damage you personally do to the minion, the most important thing is that you get the last hit with a basic attack, aka R2 on your controller or left click on your mouse, to get the most amount of gold, and you will get way more gold. This is very important. So let your minions do most of the work like Feng Mao is doing right here, and then just hit them once in the end when their health bar turns red to get all of that gold. You could also use abilities to do this, but you should save those abilities because they cost mana, and you don't want to run out of mana before a fight happens. So, you want to practice last hitting is basically what I'm trying to say, okay? It should become second nature, and you'll get better with it over time. So, now I want to organize the abilities into 3 different categories: sustain, utility, and damage. Sustain includes health regen, health, armor, shield, any abilities that help you survive longer. This could be like Feng Mao's shield, this could be like Rampage's passive that gives him more health regeneration, and so on and so on. Utility, which is crowd control and escapes. Crowd control includes abilities that cause a certain status effect, like stuns, slows, knockbacks. And escapes are stuff like Gideon's teleport, for example, movement abilities in general, stuff that helps you escape or close in on enemies. That is what I consider utility. And then damage. Self-explanatory, you upgrade it, it does more damage, that's just about it. So tanky heroes and most junglers should prioritize sustainability because they're going to be on the front line, they're going to be taking most of the damage, they're going to be the bullet sponges, so to speak. Even though not everything in this game is a bullet, but you know what I mean. And you want to be able to survive all that. So that's why sustainability is very important for tanks. Obviously, that's why they're called tanks. Because they're very beefy heroes that have very high durability, like Steel, like Rampage, that can absorb a lot of hits. Then you have supports prioritizing utility, because supports are all about those very powerful stun effects, those very powerful slow effects, or crowd control in general. So you want supports prioritizing utility for the most part, and you want carries prioritizing damage. Same thing with assassins. You want them prioritizing damage. Their whole thing is to do a lot of damage. Casters are interesting, or mid laners. They could also be played in solo lane, but for now, let's just not confuse people. Mid laners are usually a good mix of both utility and damage, and it depends on what kind. If you are Belica, you have a lot of abilities that have to do with utility, so you want to prioritize those. If you are playing as the Fae, you have a lot of very high damaging abilities, so you want to prioritize those. That is up to your better judgment, and it's all part of your playstyle. So it's really hard to say, do this, do this, do this in these exact steps, because it all depends on how you play, which is the beauty of MOBAs. Same thing goes with cards, but we'll talk about cards in the next episode. So another thing that I really want to let you guys know is how to prioritize these abilities. So I told you what's best for what, but then how are you going to prioritize these? Basically, if you see something that has its foot into multiple ponds of water, basically, if there's something that fits into 2 or more of these categories, prioritize on focusing that, especially around your team. This will, again, all matters and depends on your playstyle, but as a general rule, let's just talk about it to help you guys get through it. So, let's talk about Rampage, because I've been playing him this game. Rampage has a boulder ability that acts both as a stun and it deals damage. When you upgrade it, the stun increases in duration and the boulder increases in damage. These are very good things, so usually you prioritize that as Rampage. Another thing that you would prioritize above the other abilities is his rumble, or his slow, where he pounds his fist on the ground, because that does damage and it also slows. So again, it's also damage and utility. And when you upgrade it, the slow effect increases, meaning that the enemy slows down way more and he does more damage. Usually when you upgrade sustain abilities, they will just increase in health, increase health regeneration, stuff like that. When you upgrade utility, however, it usually does one of 2 things. It either increases the stun or general crowd control duration. CC is short for crowd control. I'm going to be using that term a lot, so get used to it. Or it decreases the cooldown of the ability so you can use them more often. Now, this is the decrease in cooldown is sometimes the case in a lot of different kinds of abilities, not just utility abilities. And damage abilities, obviously just increasing damage. Like I said, when you're thinking about doing the most damage, you want to prioritize these damage abilities first, like Countess and her tidal wave, where she shoots that wave of dark energy in front of her in a cone. That's another thing you want to look at is the ability an AoE, area of effect ability, or does it only target one person? That could also be useful. For example, with Muriel, I like to concentrate on her Consecrated Ground ability first, which is a dome shield that shields anybody on your allied team that steps into it while simultaneously dealing damage. And it's a dome, so it's an area of effect rather than one of her other abilities, Alacrity, which is a single target. That's why I prioritize that. So use this kind of thinking to really help you guys in learn when you learn new heroes and what you want to put in. That's the thinking that goes behind the minds of these players when they upgrade the points every time they level up. Because every time you level up till level 15, up through level 15 rather, I guess I should say, you get a point to spend on an ability by holding down a button and then pressing the correlating button to upgrade that ability. But of course, this gets all thrown out the window with your ultimate. When you are able to upgrade your ultimate ability, which is your triangle or your R ability, just put a point into that. Don't worry about thinking about all this stuff. Your ultimate is your strongest ability. You want it to be at its best as soon as possible. So as soon as you get a chance to upgrade those abilities, they will be highlighted with blue beams. Make sure you highlight them when that happens. And that's about it, guys. So if you had any troubles with the videos, leave a comment. I will try to respond to them as soon as I can. Hopefully this has been holistic enough for you guys and it has been useful enough. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. That's why these videos are going to be kind of long, but I want to explain them in as mature and as an understandable way as possible, and as an organized way as possible that can kind of relate to you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss the next videos, and as always, make sure you'll have a wonderful day.